Hello and welcome back to another OMNIHEROES video. In this video we are going to go through a couple of units or a couple of effectively team builds that you can look at as more of a free-to-play player than as somebody who does spend on, say, every oath, or who spends occasionally on oath and has a lot of the newer units, able to buy more Oracle tokens from the shops as well. So we're just going to focus on the units that you can obtain in game, without having to spend any money in order to get them. Now, the first team that I'm going to look at, and primarily should be the way forward, would be this team right here. Yeah, Team Nawi. She is the most powerful unit, free to play. Besides, I would say potentially Halissa, but Halissa is relatively new. You can obtain them through the you can obtain her through the shop, but again, Nawi is or has been accessible for quite some time now. You can focus on Nawi, and she will guide you through all of the Lost City stages, all of the finishing under 6 round stages. She will get you through a lot of difficult missions as well, so as in the actual story content. If you haven't finished that already, Nawi will really help with that. So she is the the first and foremost unit that you should be looking to get. Now, the way that I build Nawi is typically I'll do something like this. If I was completely free to play, I would also run Marina as well. The reason that I would run Marina is because in her passives, so we go into advance, this one here, when Marina is deployed, she increases Nawi's tribal fortitude skill trigger limit to 8 times. So instead of occasionally Nawi will proc, and then she'll proc up to 4 times, typically you can always have her proc 8 times, which is it's absolutely fantastic. If you were around last season, then you should have been able to get Lee up to 3 stars. Lee is a fantastic unit and works really well in this Glorian setup team. The reason for that is because of the Monarch build. Now, that's something that I'm going to touch on a little bit later, is what factions, or what rune synergies and faction synergies to focus on as well. Monarch being the prime example of that. Monarch is just, for me, it is, with 4 Monarchs, it is the strongest synergy in the game. Strikers is up there as well, but again, that's something that we'll look to discuss a bit later on with regards to that. So this is the team setup that helped me get through minus Lee. I did run Macaria as well. So Macaria is another effectively free-to-play unit which you should be picking up over the course of the game. Don't worry if you've not got her up to 15 stars. She doesn't need to be at 15 stars. She just needs to be at 8 stars. The same as Talanas. Talanas only needs to get up to 8 stars. Lily and Leah, 8 stars. Now you want to get up as high as possible. And then Gwyn as well. The reason that I run it like this is because of the 2 deviant synergies with these 2. That'll give you the Holy Shield protection at the start, as well as increase the leech rate, and as well Monarch, Monarch, Monarch. So you've got 3 Monarchs here, so you're not going to get one shot in PvP. And as well, you do have the Verdian synergy, so Lily and Leah and Nawi. So we'll take Macaria out, we'll pop Lee in, and Lee also brings the Verdian synergy up to 3 as well. So for me, this is a pretty optimal team. You do want to run Monarchs in the front row as well. The reason for that is because the front row is primarily the spot that gets attacked the most. Lee, being somebody who builds up attack when he gets hit, and counter-attacks as well, or at least has a 50% chance to counter-attack. You want Lily and Leah in there for shielding and healing. You want Talanas in there for the stun effect. Gwyn in there for the increase in attack. Telenas also passively debuffs the enemies as well. So you can get with Lily and Leah, their passive allows the stack limit to be increased by 10, putting it up to 15. So you can get up to 15 stacks of debuffs on each ally, and you can get 15 stacks of attack increase for your own team as well. And that typically can be done within 1 or 2 rounds. So just something to keep in mind. So let's have a look at this team. The relics which I used previously looked like this. I would suggest that anybody who is free to play, when you summon on your relics, you pick up your Hand of Tyr. Hand of Tyr, although being one of the OG relics or legendary relics, is still one of the most powerful. And the fact that it gives you Holy Shield and also attack increases as well. Yeah, so it's the shield grants allies shield equal to 300% of the relic's attack damage. And when allies reach a total of 50 stacks of buffs, all allies additionally gain 1 stack of shield equal to max HP as well. And when active and passive skills of your allies have inflicted stun on more than 1 target during this round, the allies' max HP increased by 35% for 2 rounds as well. So very powerful effect. The first one, so this one, this is Khmer's Lantern, very easily obtained, and one of the better relics, I would say. So after casting Khmer's Lantern, the next one cast will cost 60% less relic energy and applies 1 stack of defense reduction on all enemies. Also reduces energy cost to 20 as well. The next one is Orpheus Lair. Now Orpheus's Lair, it heals as well. So it's relic with increases relic heal rate by 20% for each Glorian, up to a maximum of 3. After casting Orpheus Lair, a target gains 2 rounds of Fortitude effect. Additionally applies 1 stack of defense boost on all allies, and also reduces energy cost to 80. And when the allies team's total number of buff stacks reaches 50, the relic has a 100% chance to be cast again. So that will proc a couple of times. What I would say regarding this team, let's jump in and just see them in action. A very stable team, one that you can rely on during mission content, potentially taking out Gwyn for Macaria, just so that you have the 4 monarchs in there, so you're taking a lot less damage as well. What you're looking for is Nawi to proc as much as possible. She is a very, very powerful unit, but she does rely heavily on the RNG as well. So as you can see, Lee here, he's building up attack and he's building up defense because I do have his runes in there as well. So I have his exclusive runes, I prioritize those just because he needs defense in order to do what he needs to do, which is take attacks and tank them as much as possible. Fortunately, we've got the Fortitude effect on here. And as you can see, Lee is going to do tremendous damage, so 221 million there. Telenas, he's basically equal Telenas, but Telenas also stuns, so that is on her 6-star passive. Her 6-star ultimate skill. She will apply stun based on the number of attack stacks that she has. If she has 6 stacks or more, she will stun the enemies for 1 round. If she has the 2 stacks, if she has 12 stacks or more, which you can get up to with Lily and Leah, she can also stun for 2 rounds as well. So as you can see, it's very easy sweeps on this one. Oh, I think we've just completed this mission. Ah, no. Crap. Pardon my French. We've just completed that mission. I didn't want to complete that mission. I really didn't. But it looks like we've done it anyway. So let's move on. Now, the next team that you want to look at is the Ethereal Team. A lot of people have been saying that Ethereals have fallen off recently, but it's only in very late game that Ethereals have fallen off. And the team setup, or the team that I build around, is Dorabella, Katrina, and Ellie. Now, you can add those in, and you can also add in Karnak. Now, Karnak is relatively difficult to obtain, only through World Arena. At the moment, is he in any of the shops? But you can obtain him through the Rift Odyssey ticket as well. I think it's the final ticket that you're able to obtain him on, or the second to last ticket you're able to obtain him on. He is an absolutely fantastic unit, especially when he gets up to that 7 stars. So here, when Karnak is deployed and his ally lands a critical hit, there's a 100% chance to heal the entire team, providing healing equal to his attack, 50% plus 3% of the target's max HP. Now that ability right there single-handedly makes him effectively a required unit when you are going through these Lost City stages. So Katrina, Karnak, these two as a combo, and effectively a free-to-play combo, because Katrina you do start to pick up right from the start of the game. Now Katrina is very powerful in her own right and is still run in late game on that Eal's team. So she does 600% physical damage. That is one of the highest damage buffs that you can have. Landing a critical hit grants 100% chance to deal an additional 50% damage. So when she does land with this big hit here, she does have the chance to deal an additional 50% damage if you crit, and you want to build around that crit mechanic with both her and Karnak. Now, the main thing here, so you want to get Katrina up to 7 stars as much as possible. So after an ally lands a critical hit, Katrina applies shield effect equal to 50% of her own attack to all allies for 2 rounds. Now, this is very powerful, especially if you can increase Katrina's attack. So this goes off, it's not the base attack, but it's Katrina's overall attack. So the higher her attack is, the higher your shields will be, the more survivability that you've got in total. She's a fantastic unit, and one that I would genuinely build around as much as possible. Now again, Macaria, I know I've said it before, but Macaria is relatively obtainable through the Abyss shop, I think, or one of the shops. You can pick up copies of Macaria. Now, the team that I used to run looked a little something like this, having the 4 Ethereals here. So Dorabella, another fantastic unit who does a lot of damage. Typically, she can output more damage than Katrina. She can output more damage than Karnak. And Ellie's a bit of a different case. If you do have a striker on the team, then Ellie can output more damage than Dorabella and Katrina. But again, it's very situational. This is the team setup that I used to run. The reason for that is because I didn't have Katrina's exclusive runes at the time. I do now, but if we have a look at Katrina's exclusive runes, her epic, once crit rate of all allies exceeds 100%, every time Katrina takes an action, she will grant 1 stack of crit boost to all allies. Powerful, but not what you're looking for. You're looking for this, the red ones down here. Once crit rate exceeds 100, and every time Katrina takes action, she will grant 1 stack of crit boost to all allies. When Katrina is deployed, increases the shield effect of the ally team by 50%. So not only are we increasing her attack, but she will also increase the strength of shields by 50% on top of that as well. Macaria does the same, but without runes. So if we just jump into Macaria's abilities here, when Macaria is deployed, increases the shield effect of all allies by 50%. So running these two, if you have Katrina's red runes, then it'll increase the shield or shields by 100%, or technically 2 stacks of 50%. It can be very powerful depending on which order you apply them in, but again, it is what it is. That's why I ran Macaria on this team to sync up with Dorabella's Monarch. And also another unit that you can use is Portia. Now, when I completed the main missions, my Portia was 3 stars, and that's where she remained for a very long time. I didn't chase Portia. I haven't chased Portia over the course of the past year and a bit that I've been playing, but I've still got her up to 10 stars. She will come in passively through your summons, through your various different tickets and all that, but she is a very good unit on this team, and it is because of the Monarch synergy. Now, if we have a look in Ethereals, there are no other Monarchs on this team, and that is a problem. It is a real problem, and something which needs to be rectified, I suspect, over the course of the next couple of seasons. I think that potentially King Arthur will be an ethereal monarch. If that is the case, then we could take out Macaria in this slot and we could put King Arthur in. I really hope that King Arthur is going to be an all types unit, very similar to Cleo down here. So Cleo, as you can see, an all types unit. I really hope that King Arthur is going to be one. But, again, it is what it is. Now, relics, as far as you go for this particular team, so Katrina, Dorabella, Portia, Macaria, and Karnak, it will be something along the lines of, where have you gone? Chaos Orb. Now, Chaos Orb is a fantastic relic, and one that I look to use. It can be better than the current... red relics or legendary relics for ethereals. So this is one of them. Leviathan. Not everybody will have this. If you do have it, you can run it. It is very good with stun and increasing reflect rate. But as you can see, we've got no other ethereal burst type relics. I think it's the burst type. Hold on. I don't tell me. I think it's a burst type relic, or this is the burst type relic, and I can't remember. But the slot 1 relic here, there's no other slot 1 ethereal relics, and that is a massive problem for the game and something that the devs do need to address, which is why I do tend to run this Chaos Orb in the first slot here. The reason for that is because of the abilities. So each ethereal synergy increases relic damage for each ethereal synergy mate deployed. You don't really care about relic damage with this, but what you do care about is the Chaotic Eyes level 3 ability here. So for 2 rounds after casting Chaotic Eye, gain 12 additional relic energy upon trigger of a critical hit. On this team, you absolutely want as many crits as possible. You want to build around that particular crit mechanic. Karnak will provide crits. Karnak will provide crits. Dorabella and Katrina will all provide crit rate increases. This also applies 1 stack of crit reduction rate on the enemies, so increasing survivability for you as well. But it is more the 12 additional relic energy upon triggering a critical hit. If you get 10 critical hits in this first round, after the Chaotic Eye is triggered, you get your 100 relic energy. So just something to keep in mind. Now, the next relic for this team, you can use Hammer. If you don't have a copy of Hammer, I wouldn't chase it. Hammer is not fantastic. So as you can see, it increases magic damage reduction of all allies by 50%. That's great, but a lot of powerful teams, like for example, like Valianters, like the reflect damage on the Dooms team, like for example, the Glorians team, as well as some of the Ethereals team, Eudora specifically and Katrina, they do physical damage. It's really important to, if you are going to use this relic, if you do have it, to make sure that the enemy team doesn't do physical damage. So you don't want to put this relic against teams with a lot of units which do physical damage. If you want to counter magic damage, this is the one for you. So this is after casting. Again, it's very slow to cast these relics because they don't have a gives a 100 relic energy upon cast first slot relic. It's really annoying, but it is what it is. Now, the stun effect caused by Tempest Hammer has 50% chance to be extended by a round, and Tempest Hammer attacks 2 enemies. So this will apply stun for 1 round to 1 random enemy. It's not very good in comparison to the one that you can be using, which is Excalibur. I absolutely fell in love and used this constantly, this Excalibur relic, and the reason for that, because I got it up to 5 stars. It's currently sitting at 10 stars for me, but at 5 stars I believe it goes up to hit each individual. So it's 3 targets for 1 round and grants the allied team 1 stack a crit rate boost That is so important, the crit rate boost. Also reduces energy cost to 80, you get that later on. But this applies stun on 3 targets for 1 round and grants the ally team 1 stack of crit rate boost as well. That crit rate boost is so vital to this team because you've got the shields triggering from Katrina, you've got the healing triggering from Karnak, and then when the allies team crit rate reaches 150%, the relic has a 100% chance to be cast again. So effectively, you're looking at 6 targets which you can apply that stun to as well. Just something to keep in mind. It doesn't work with Glorians, but it does work with just about every other team in the game, and you want to extend that stun for as long as possible. Now, the relics that you should be going for this this team, it would be the Chrono Legendary Relic, the Famine Scales, or you can go for the Demon Blade Whip, but again, these are basic. The Demon Blade Whip is basically a paid relic. This is in the shop, the relic shop. Once you get 1 relic up to 10 stars, you can then go ahead and start purchasing red relics as well. So just something to keep in mind. But let's go ahead and jump in, and we'll pop in the setup that I used to use. Was Chimae's Lantern, and then Chaos Orb, Chaos Orb, then Chimae's Lantern, then Excalibur. This one for me was absolutely fantastic, this setup, the relic setup, because as you'll see, you'll cast the Chaos Orb, then you'll cast the Lantern, and then you'll get to the Excalibur very quickly as well. So let's just have a look. We'll get the 5 relic energy. And then we get the crit as well, which will trigger Chimae's Lantern, reducing the cost of Excalibur to 32. So this will trigger very quickly as well. Chrono relics are best to use, but if you can't, I would suggest probably using something along these lines as well. So we up the crit rate as well, and because our crit rate is 400 and whatever %, we do get a double trigger. And it has stunned 3 of the enemies, so a very powerful effect indeed. So as you can see, we do lose shields quite frequently in this, but yeah, there we go. So that's Katrina putting in a lot of damage there, and again, we got our shields back as well. We want to keep our shields high. We want to keep our crit rate high as well, and the reason for that is because the more that we can crit on our attack, the higher the amount of healing that we'll get back from Karnak. Again, another unit that if you are free to play, you should be looking to get from the Oracle shop. There's just so many different combinations that you can do with those 2 units. To get myself through Lost City, I ended up putting these 2 in so many of the teams. Again, I went straight for Karnax was the first exclusive rune that I bought. The reason for that is because of the executability. At the time, it was basically the most powerful ability in the game. He was unstoppable because of that executability. But again, it's not required. It's not required for him to be super effective. Now, let's jump into a final team. I can go over a couple of them just very briefly. Mystifiers, I was never impressed with. I really wasn't. Until the introduction of Astrid. Astrid can be obtained in the Oracle shop and should be prioritized over just about every other unit in the game. You'll pick up copies of Talos, you'll pick up copies of Dullahan, and you can pop in Sandra, who is relatively free to play. Lancelot does a lot of work. He's the new unit, and you should be able to get 3 copies of him by the end of the season through various different shards and tickets. I used Emily a lot. I never really rated Franz. He was just so weak. He just kept dying constantly. They have improved him slightly. But again, Emily, for me, she was absolutely fantastic. Now, I won't show these teams off. I'm just going to go through with them. Another unit which you should be focusing on is Elmer. So within your first month or 2 months playing the game, you should have a single copy of Elmer. You should have a single copy of Astrid. You should also have, progressing over the course of about a 6-month period, you should get Elmer up to that 3-star mark. Primarily, he needs to be at 2 stars to be super effective. Bear with me. Sorry about that. My daughter just had a lovely present for me. Oh, it was a stinky one. So, as I was saying, Elmer, yes, absolutely, you should be going for Elmer. Now, one unit that you'll pick up a lot, and everybody talks about, and everybody should be talking about, is Atropos. Now, Atropos, you will pick her up gradually. You can pick her up through the guild shop. You should be prioritising her through that guild shop purchase. And also you pick her up through various different methods throughout the game. I've got videos on how to pick up all of these units. So, just have a look through or type in Atrops, OMNIHEROES, and you'll find how to get her very easily. The reason that I go for her is primarily because of these. So, Baptism of Dawn and the Prayer. She also increases damage reduction by 30% and heals the team as well at 7 stars. But you really do want her as high as possible. The higher her attack, the more damage that you're going to be able to do to the enemy team. So Valianta's very powerful unit within here. Themis is okay at the very start. She's a very good unit at the start, actually, when enemies have a lot of very low HP. But again, it's something like these. So Elune, Themis, and Atrops. Those were the key Valiantas that I used, along with Victoria, Macaria. I never really got Nyx. I never really got Nyx. Marlena, I never got as well. She's just built up passively. And Ashlyn, she's currently red, nearly 2 of 2 red. This is all by accident. One sec. This is all by accident. This is all by accident. The only one that I had to do was this one, and I got lucky with this one. But Ashlyn, I think if we got a unit like Catherine or Audrey or there's one more who here, like Sal, on the Valianta's team, then it will really bring Ashlyn to life. But as it stands, I would say ignore Ashlyn for the Valianta's team. The primary units you want to go for, Victoria has become much more readily available now than she was previously. And Macaria, again, a staple in this particular team setup. You want to go something like, as more free to play. Even if you have a 1-star copy of Nyx, I think she'll get the job done. It looks something like this. Very, very powerful team setup. If you really want to push the boat out, you can include Victoria as well on that team. But again, Victoria is the more difficult out of the two. Macaria and Victoria, more difficult out of the two to get. Nyx is even more difficult. As you can see, I've only got her up to 9 stars. The rest of these OG units, like Macaria, like Victoria, are all past 10 stars now. But only up to 9 stars with Nyx, because I've never chased Nyx. Never really had to. Christine is another valuable unit, who is readily available, or typically you'll get through the advanced summons. She is a very powerful asset to the team, and also a striker as well. So a striker, you've got your 2 strikers. Atrops' damage will increase, or her attack will increase, which will allow the damage to go higher with this team setup. And just playing around with different team setups in Valiantas is, it's the way to go, really. But the core units for the Valiantas team, for me, are these 3. So Macaria, Elmer, and Atrops. Now, we've done Glorians. It's Dooms is next. Dooms is a very pay-to-win team. Doris, she is your best bet. So Doris, or at least, yeah, I would say Doris, Merlin, and where have you gone? Here you are, Halissa. So as you can see, my Halissa, I have gone for 2 red and DPS runes. Really, these should be dodge unique runes to play into the unique effect. But again, it is what it is, and you know, it's just, yeah, she's absolutely a fantastic unit. Now, what you want to do with Halissa, again, I would suggest building around Halissa for a free-to-play Dooms team. She is available through various different shops and also on the advanced summons and synergy summons if you go for that. I personally don't, but you can build a team something like this. You may have Ayushta, you may not. She is quite a rare unit. She's become much more readily available with the introduction of the World Arena, but again, she's not on many tickets and she's not in many shops. You might pull her randomly, that's fine, but again, this is more of the team build that you want to go for as free to play, primarily because you want to get as much reflect rate to build up Halissa as possible. She's a single target unit and does a lot of damage. Sylvan, I've never really rated Sylvan. She's okay, you know, she's alright, but for me it's not, she's not super worth it. That's why I went for Merlin and Athena. Primarily, Athena is your tank. Ayushta is your safeguard in Doom's mirrors as well. So in Doom's mirrors, Ayushta will come out on top if your team go first. So if you're challenging somebody, you want to put Ayushta on the team as well. The rest of the Doom's units down here, again, they're all effectively, you need to summon a lot in order to get them up to the star levels that they require. 3 stars is the minimum I typically will do to use a unit. So as you can see, Dahlia 3-star. I will still use Cleo, but the rest of my units are all up to past 8 stars, which is really important. Now, the final team, so the Avengers team, these 3, Sal in this position, Solomon in this position. A lot of people run Solomon in this position, Sal in this position. I run Sal in slot 1. The reason that I run Sal in slot 1 is because of this relic right here. So after casting Healing Vase, gain 60 relic energy and apply 1 stack of healing reduction on all enemies. Also reduces energy cost to 20. As well, increases relic heal rate, blah blah blah, so we heal for 400%. The reason that you want this in slot 1, or the reason we want Sal in slot 1, is because when this triggers, it will target this slot 1. It will, Persephone will also target slot 1 with her Fortitude ability. What you want is for Sal to take as much damage as possible but not die. That's the most important bit, is for Sal to not die, but to take as much damage as possible. Now, the other unit that I would suggest for this team, for Lachesis. The reason for that is when Lachesis ults, she will remove all debuffs from all enemies. She is so powerful in PvP against teams like Glorians, teams like the Doom's team, with Halissa on it, against teams, Mystifier's team as well. Really powerful. Really powerful. The last slot goes to Arcdina, and the reason for that is because she decreases enemy attack, and she increases your own team's attack as well on her ultimate and active skill respectively. This is the team setup for Avengers that I went for a very long time. Lachesis, reasonably difficult to obtain. Arcdina less so. She's much more readily available on tickets and everything like that. So I built Lachesis up as much as I could. Same as Arcdina. You really only need Lachesis at 7 stars, and you really only need Arcdina at 7 stars as well. Persephone, really powerful unit, or a very good healer anyway. Heals this slot. So let's go ahead and just, this was one of my favourite team setups for a very long time, and it was Lantern and it was Blades of Chaos. But this is before I had Hand of Tyr. This is the team setup that I would use. Once I got Hand of Tyr, this was it. So we'll go ahead and we'll pop in the Lantern and just see how this team functions without any super powerful units as well. Solomon, a real tank. He was anyway. Sort of between floors 100 to 250, Solomon will get the job done. This also is a Shadow Arcs build as well, so hopefully one of our units will die, so I don't complete more stages of Lost City. I don't want to complete Lost City right now because it's the only place to really test units, but it is what it is. So you've got your... Oh, sorry, no, we don't have 3 Shadow Arcs. Oh, phew. But yeah, so as you can see, Lachesis triggers. We've had all of our relics trigger as well, and they've all gone on to Sal. And the reason that you want to build up Sal is because he increases the stack limit by 15 for both attack and damage. So he is going to be your primary damage dealer for this team. Building him up with Solomon, who shares a striker synergy with him, is also very powerful. So as you can see, Sal doing 195 million there. He is outputting way more damage than anybody else on the team. Effectively, you want to build around that. You want to build around having Sal do as much damage as possible. So again, increase attack and damage as well. And we want Sal to take as much damage as possible. So when Persephone does this, she'll apply Fortitude to him. And as you can see, every time Sal heals... this is with his exclusive runes active. I got his exclusive runes very early because I absolutely love Sal as a character. He just does so much damage. It's really unfair, especially once he's had time to build up. So as you can see, you've got 20 stacks of attack increase and 20 stacks of damage increase, and he's doing 1,569 million. The relic will hit this slot here, this slot 1 by default, so it will heal Sal as well as provide him with that attack boost. These attack boosts do fade over time, so you want to keep the healing rolling with this team as much as possible. Again, another reason to run Sal in slot 1 is he is a massive target, but we do want, again, as much damage to go on Sal as possible. Again, he's up to 4,600 million. It's because I've got his full red runes. He is another free-to-play character to build around. It's just so effective. The epic runes for him. Quick deploy. Don't need that. Thank you. But yeah. So as you can see, effective teams and effective team builds. Those are the units I would say, personally, that you should be building around free-to-play. Out of the experience that I've had getting to this stage, those are the most useful units. So for each synergy, you have your... In Mystifiers, will have the most powerful unit within Mystifiers, I would say, would be Astrid. Now, non-DD, free-to-play, I would probably say Lancelot is now. Lancelot is really, really effective. So effective. It's untrue. But, again, I've only got him at... Well, I have him at 8 stars now, but I did have him at 7 stars. He was able to completely punish the Lost City, and I suspect he would also punish a lot of the missions and Palace of Penrose content as well. But these two at the front, you need to get them to 8 stars for them to be super effective. But Talos and Dullahan you'll pick up passively, and then Astrid you should be chasing anyway. So these three, this setup here. Now in Valianters, like I said before, these three, Elma you should be chasing. Atrops will come to you, but you can also prioritise her through different shops. And Macaria you'll pick up naturally through summons, as well as through various different shops as well. Those are the 3 core units within this synergy here. Now if we go to Ethereals, again, these 2 are the only units that you'll need out of Ethereals primarily. You can focus on Eudora. Bella you'll build up passively anyway, but these 2 as a combo to get the heal and the shields. You can add these 2 to any other team in, generally speaking, in Lost City, and you'll be able to pass the Survivors equals 5 with 60% HP or greater. These 2 units will get you through a lot of content together. Now, again, there's only one unit you need to chase in this synergy, and that is Nawi. The rest of them will all come passively. These are the three that I would say you need to chase: Talon, Asnawi, and Lily and Leah. Those are the three units that you should be aiming for in Avengers. Again, as free to play in this particular setup, exactly like this. Sal, Solomon, Persephone, those are the units that you should be chasing within the Avengers synergy as free to play. And within Dooms, you should be going for... Where have you gone? Doris. Doris is only really available through the guild shop, but again, she is kind of worth it. Picking up a copy of it after you've picked up the most recent season units, or the shards for the most recent season units, is very worth it to me. She is really, she does amplify the team, the Dooms team, really well. Now, if you have already got Halissa, then absolutely these three. This is an excellent combo, really powerful combo. Can't be understated. Athena and Merlin and Halissa will provide you with a lot of reflect. So, like I said, something along these lines. Those are the 4 free-to-play units that you want to go for primarily, just so that you do have a good Dooms team free-to-play. And that's it. That's all that I can. It's all I can give you on this one. It's been a super long video, and I think for the past 11 minutes I won't be. It is what it is. Typically, I try and stay under 30 minutes for a video, but there's just so much. There's just so much that I needed to get out there. I didn't even go through it all properly. Like, we didn't show off the Mystifiers team, didn't show off the Valiantus team, Dooms team. It is what it is. But let me know what you think down below. If you like and subscribe, be really appreciated. And if you think I've missed anything or any units, then please do let me know down below. All right. Well, you have a great day. Thank you for sticking with me for so long. I know it's a long video today, but yeah, just want to say thank you very much for watching. And yeah, hope you have a great day.